You mentioned how there's kind of a parallel between the situation and the character of the old woman at the beginning and the princess later on. But I think one big difference is that the old woman is not invited. She asks to be invited, and she gives a
Mm,
reason that she should be trying to. You could sort of see it as an emotional plea, like, let me warm my bones by the fire, but not giving them a reason why she's wandering around there or why they should trust her.
mm,
And that seems to be supported by later on. The story mentions how she's pleading with them. She's always using emotions to try to kind of get them to do things.
hmm.
But excuse me, Fortunatus, getting my stories mixed up.
Yeah.
Fortunatus, like when he goes to the city, he is invited by the king, and there's also an identity thing, which I think might be interesting to go into. He like has different like costumes and like different roles or different professions that he acts like. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
the king who believed that Fortunatus was a prince from another kingdom invited him to the castle. So I mean, he is to me, he is totally a guest there. And then
Hmm.
she wants to marry him. He and understandably so. He's kind of this like big man of the world, kind of throwing feasts everywhere, respected by everyone, even wanted by her own father, the king. So if someone is wanted by someone really powerful or high up, in a way, they're like even better than that person,
Hmm. Hmm.
psychologically, it seems that way. That's how like con artists, I think, try to kind of wend their way into people's lives and stuff. But but then he refuses, and I think he doesn't. I mean, I think he goes back because he's his sense of justice, or he's just not going to be taken advantage of by this princess, and eventually he does kind of get his revenge, and so that's why I kind of think the story is possibly about respect.
Yeah.
Not,
And in fact, she, so, she takes the thing with the gold coins and gives him the fake one. And he goes out and he realizes it's fake. And he goes back and calls on the princess, but is turned away and then banned from the city.
mm,
So there is kind of a like a selfishness on the princess's part, and there is a what did you just say? A lack of respect of like, if you're not going to give me what I want, you can't even come here. Only then he goes, meets his friend, gets the wishing hat, gets a bunch of money, goes back. The princess is astonished to see him back in his former glory and was sure he would now agree to what she wanted. So so she invites him back in when he's doing real well, but when he
yeah,
comes back and is like, "Hey, can I get my gold back?" and he doesn't have the service, he doesn't have the clothes, he's banned from the city.
yeah,
So
yeah. And
it is interesting. Yeah.
does that not seem like just going away from a psychological, like this is one person type of explanation to this is about this particular type of relationship where there's the really privileged princess type girl, princess or not, and has been spurned, and damn it, if I can't, if you don't want me, then she's going to try to put the guy down. To me,
Yeah.
that pattern definitely happens in relationships between men and women where, uh, yes, how would you say this? Like, yeah, she takes it as more than a slight that he doesn't want her, and she's gonna make him pay.
It's interesting because I see that. I know that from real life. I've seen that happen. And it does show that. But putting it under the like the psychological interpretation, there is a part of us that, are if we are split in a certain way, the part that we are split from does want to rejoin with us. It does want to, and it is in our best interests to work with it in a way that that it's no longer, this part of ourself is no longer exiled. It's brought back into the community of our subconscious or whatever,
Hmm.
and it's able to interact with us on a better level. And if we were to go close to it and then say no, you can't, like, the part would get angry, and it would be right to be angry because we're sort of playing with it. We're like, yeah, I can get in touch with my feelings, but not right now. I don't actually want them around. I don't want to suffer for them. I just
Mm.
want to have them around when I want them.
Mm.
And that works for me as far as the psychological perspective of like the motivation behind the princess's behavior, except that when he comes back poor, she's like, no. And then when he comes back rich, she's like, oh, yes, you can come in. So there's definitely something a little suspicious on the princess's part as far as her behavior here,
Mm.
because she only seems interested when he shows up, rich playboy, big man of
Yeah,
the world
when he
kind of a
looks
thing, like
good,
you were saying. Yeah,
when
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah,
attractive.
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, and but then if we want to look at it as like he's coming back to get revenge, he's coming back, like, why does he go back? He goes back and he falls for the same trick 3 times, and like, I just can't, I can't see the princess being that wily, and I can't see him being that dumb. So I don't really understand how to take that.
It is notable. Yeah, falls for
It's
the
very,
same trick.
yeah, she's using the same means as before. It literally says she got him to tell her everything, and then when he was asleep, I mean, I guess maybe they're implying they're sleeping together,
I wondered about that. Yeah, I don't know.
because like, stereotypically guys will spill their secrets during and after sex, and then he falls
Mm.
asleep, and then when he's asleep, she takes.
Yeah.
So but there is, if that is the case, then there is this case for this playboy guy coming in, hooking up with the princess, and then being like, yeah, but I don't really want to marry you. I'm not that interested. And then, a woman scorned is
Yeah, I wondered
nothing
about
to
that
mess around
too.
with,
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I
Yeah.
thought from the first or the second encounter, the language did not seem to show that there was like sex, but yeah, we're not from that culture. There's maybe when there's a lot less explicitness, there's more understanding of the subtleties of language, and we're reading a translation. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's
either
true. That's
way,
true.
that would also that would be a great temptation that would help explain why he keeps coming back. But even without that, I think with the feasting is something that's a part of his character in this story. It's something that he's doing before he ever meets her. So he has a strong predilection for it. Also, there is the idea of she's he's getting wine, which obviously, makes you much more pliable, and food too. And when people get food in a story, as in this story with the apples too, like things change. So they're
Mm,
consuming something and they're not the same necessarily after that. So I thought maybe, yeah. Yeah, just
yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
it as a feast itself, it seems like he would like kind of catch on after the first or the second time. Yeah, he doesn't seem otherwise like a dummy, but yeah. But I
Yeah.
think
Like,
maybe that has that's kind of it. Like
yeah.
he seems to have a weakness for it.